Hello Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Hanged Man. This is someone who is giving of themselves completely over to something else. Going with the flow of the current, letting it take you away. It's a card of great personal sacrifice. It's the card really of kind of suffering for your art, suffering for your work, right? Giving everything of yourself. Devoting all of your resources to something. Yeah. It's kind of giving up any almost personal ambition for the sake of something larger. Yeah. This is the card of, well, it could be the card of suffering. Yeah. And this could be the card of feeling as if our hands are tied. But what if our hands aren't tied? What if we have sort of voluntarily immersed ourselves in this work, in this purpose, in this path? And so we're not a victim, we're not a slave to it. We are a willing participant. And we are we're lucky to have the opportunity to devote ourselves to something so monumental, right? So I wonder how this energy is playing out in your life. Let's put it into a little bit of context, okay? I do think you're somebody that you tend to prioritize other people over yourself, I think. Yeah, there we've got the Justice card. 7 of Wands, 9 of Cups, and a 6 of Swords, and a Hermit card. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like you're somebody that does typically, you don't always consider yourself first. You tend to put other people before you, and you tend to think about other people's needs over your own. You're very, very empathic that way. I think you're very compassionate. And I think that you tend to be of service. You feel like somebody who is kind of looking around and wondering where they can be of the most help. You know, not where am I going to have the most fun? Where am I going to really enjoy myself the most? But where can I be most useful? Right? Where can I offer my gift to the world? Where can I be of service? You know. And I think that's really a beautiful quality in you. Yeah. There are needs. There are moments, periods of time where you have to focus on yourself. Maybe that's what our hermit is talking about. It could be. That the hermit is saying, okay, look, there's a time for you to kind of get out of the pool and dry off and take care of yourself, that this situation, it is something to which you're devoting yourself completely, but you also have to maintain yourself, okay? This is really an interesting set of cards. Capricorn, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. Now we'll put the rest of our cards out on the table here. We have a 2 of Cups. We've got the Star. We've got the Hierophant. And the High Priest. Wow. That is really nice. Like the major arcana. We got a lot of major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana energies. And that is kind of significant I mean, that's big. So the fact that we have so many major arcana does tell me that you're devoting yourself to something that is much larger than you. It is a big, huge purpose that takes you out of your just little human self, our little human personality. It's something really, really big, cosmic in scale kind of. And it's at least global, I feel that there's also a lot of forces that are outside of your control, that are things that you have to kind of accept in life, right? Obvious things we can't accept, or we can't control. We have to accept, like, how tall we're going to grow, or like, who our parents were, or where we were born, what the social circumstances were like when we were born, what country we were born in, or, we can't control other people, right? We can't control our genetics, I guess. That's maybe debatable, but I don't want to get into that debate. There are things we can control, which is how we relate to ourselves and to the world around us. There are things that we can control, such as how happy we are, And sometimes that's kind of a shock, like, well, really? I can control my own happiness. Yes, I think we can. I think that happiness, in your case, is kind of coming as a side effect from this intense devotion that you have, this commitment that you're making at great personal sacrifice, which is actually really going to be intensely rewarding. You're devoting yourself to a higher purpose here. Okay. And it feels like you're following your starlight, that you are following your destiny. And maybe we feel that we can't control our fate, but we can control what kind of experience we have on that road, We can't control the sort of the institutions under which we are kind of being guided, let's say that. We can control our acceptance of the world as it is. These are the circumstances into which I find myself upon my birth, right? This is what I got to work with, right? Whatever we are physically, intrinsically, we can sort of try to control certain things, If I don't feel I'm tall enough, I could try to stretch maybe and gain an inch. Maybe I could put some lifts in my shoes, We can't really control the color of our hair, but we can alter it if we want to, So there's a lot of things that we can do to sort of augment the things in life that we can't directly control. We can try to adapt to them in certain ways, or to manipulate them in such a way that we can. If it's for some reason better for me to have, blonde hair over brown hair, then, I could make that change if I really needed to. I don't see if it would really, I don't think it would, I wouldn't look good as a blonde, I don't think. But the idea with the Hanged Man is that we kind of accept the circumstances into which we find ourselves, right? We accept them as being the raw material of our lives. We say that we can't accept the world into which we're born, or we can't change it. Well, we accept it as it is, but we can change it. We can change it through our personal work and our commitment and our devotion to some kind of higher purpose, higher plan, some kind of higher ideal. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll just set it right here. Cheer or fear. Belschnickel is here. We're not going to look at that card until the end, but if you feel like you might know what it is, put your prediction down in the comments, okay? Now let's look around the room one more time. We do have a lot of major arcana, 6 major arcana cards. We have fire, we have water, we have air. We don't have any earth. We don't have any pentacles. Maybe the mystery card will be the pentacles. Because I feel that this is a lot of commitment and a lot of devotion on your part. There's so many major arcana energies here. It feels like there's no question in your mind that this is something you need to do and you need to commit yourself to. The Hanged Man, we'll start with the Hanged Man. It's the acceptance of your fate. It's kind of saying, this is my destiny, and I'm going to dive right in. Come what may. I'm giving myself utterly to the flow of this thing, this life. And interesting with the Justice card, I kind of feel as if there's a certain contract about it. It's kind of like, you're joining the military, right? It's kind of, you're just all in. And, it's kind of like you're under contract for a certain amount of time, and then you can change your mind. But once you commit to it, once you dive in, it's kind of like, now you're here and there's no getting out of it. Okay? But I feel like what you're really diving into is a commitment to sort of, it could be a business thing, I guess. But I feel like you're really diving into I kind of want to say it's almost like a marriage, And I don't know if it's with another person. I want to say that it is because of the Two of Cups, because of the Hierophant, right? But I don't know that it really is a romantic kind of partnership. I feel that there is a union taking place, especially with the Two of Cups here, right? But I don't know if it is a union between you and a person, or you and an idea, you and a plan, you and a company. But I feel that in your effort to improve life for the world, I feel like you're sort of volunteering for something, and you're committing to it for a certain amount of time. Okay. So maybe these two central cards together is maybe these are the cards of volunteering, right? Maybe this is the idea of I'm committing to something. I'm accepting the conditions of life as they are, and I'm committing to improving them. I'm committed to a certain goal, or to, not even to the goal, but to a plan for improvement, right? A plan for progress. And I feel like it's really going to have some unexpected benefits for you. I feel like you're someone who is ready to jump in and volunteer with not very much consideration for yourself. I feel like the Justice card is perhaps a social issue, or it's the commitment itself. It's kind of like the handshake agreement or the contract you're signing. It's sort of a formal commitment, yeah. But I feel like it's also going to put you in touch with a lot of important people in your life. You're going to meet a lot of people that are going to be critical in sort of helping you along the way. Okay? Maybe even a Libra person is going to be very important in your life right now. Okay? I feel like you're making a lot of connections. And it could be through your volunteering, or through your effort to be of service, through your sort of selfless energy. You're meeting all the right people in your life. Okay? Now, underneath the surface here, we've got that Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is it's one against many. It says to me that there's this realization that whatever your plan is, you need other people. Okay? Because one person alone is really no match for that. It's kind of like this is a card this is us realizing, there is strength in numbers, right? And I think that this is kind of, this is your fight. This is what you believe in. And this is what you're willing to sacrifice yourself to. This is what the Hanged Man is really diving into and saying, I don't care what happens to me. I have to do this. This is important to the world, right? And what the world means, I don't know. If this is something global, if this is something kind of more local to you, I'm not sure what this fight really is, okay? But I do know that you're offering yourself to this cause. Yeah. And I think you're realizing that it's not something that one person can accomplish on their own. But you're somebody who is really willing to do that. You're willing to just be out there all by yourself fighting for something. You're someone that probably, stands up for the underdog. You're somebody that, stands up to the bully. But I think that there's a network of people being provided for you by Spirit. You're being put in the right group, right? The context is changing. The network is changing. Yeah. And that's part of our Six of Swords at the top here. I think that the Six of Swords is part of the plan, but I feel like it's also you connecting and finding like-minded individuals. That there's a resonance, there's an intellectual resonance with other people. It's kind of like you're finding people, or Spirit is providing you really with people that share your ideals, that share your work ethic, that share your principles, yeah, that want to be part of the plan. Okay, so whatever you're doing, I don't know, what you could be doing something like writing a book. You could be doing something like, trying to create a foundation or a group, or maybe you're starting to put together a charity, right? That you're trying to build something up, yeah, something that's meant to help the world, I think, to a greater or lesser extent. And this is you finding the right people to work with, people who believe the same thing you believe. Yeah. And it's something this is really a big deal, to find people that sort of agree with you fundamentally at the foundational level. You all believe in the same things. You're all part of the same plan. Now, there may be disagreements about how to go about implementing the plan, how to go about building this thing and growing this thing. But that's kind of like, that's not even an issue. The important thing is that everybody kind of believes in the same principles. The why. The how, we'll figure out the how, but the why we all have in common. Okay? And so I find this is a very interesting, and it may just be one particular person. It could be, with this Two of Cups, it could be that you're finding the right sort of true love, soulmate kind of person in your life. It could be that you are, it could be that your selfless immersion in a particular fight or issue or a cause, that might be setting you up to really meet the person that you've been wanting to meet. Okay. Now we've got a Nine of Cups in the background here, and that's kind of a I can't help but get a feeling of the Buddha energy here, right? Or the story of the Gautama Buddha, and sort of renouncing all of this luxury and happiness and wealth and riches and all this kind of, what should be a Nine of Cups, an overflowing life, renouncing that and living the ascetic, as the ascetic, as this hermit mode, the hermit energy. I don't think that's exactly what you're doing, but I feel that there is an element of that here. I feel that the Nine of Cups is the card of happiness. It's in the background here. I feel as if there's something that you're willing to sacrifice everything for. I don't think you're renouncing happiness. I don't think that you're giving up your fortune and becoming the kind of hermit wanderer, ascetic. But I do feel that happiness to you means more than just the acquiring of the physical materials. That the wealth that we experience, the resources that we gain, the money that we gather, is a means to an end. And I think really that the reason for our Hanged Man energy is because you care so much about people, about everything, about the world. can't help but think that, I can't help but see this, with the Nine of Cups in the background and through this sacrifice, and then the Hermit energy on the other side. It's kind of like you live in this paradise, you live in this palace, right? And you're in a way you're giving it up to go walk about. Okay? And I can't help but wonder what this really means for you. That this card of happiness, this really should be the most perfect happy life back here. But you're kind of saying, no, there's something I have to commit to. There's something that I have to, it's the selfless energy. Anybody else with Nine of Cups, okay, I'm taking this, I'm going home. I'll see you later, right? But you're thinking, okay, yeah, that's fine, that's good. I like happiness. But there's something more important than my personal happiness, okay? I think in a way, what the Nine of Cups is saying here on the side is that the happiness, this overjoyed life, is kind of just a side effect of your being committed to something bigger than you, greater than you, a purpose that goes beyond your personal interests, you see. And maybe that is something that's quite new, Maybe that's an idea that we don't really think about very often. Some of us, happiness is the goal of life, right? That's what we're all after it. And we all have this ambition to try to get as happy as we can, right? And we're trying to collect things that make us happy, people, places, our pets, our plants. What's going to make us happy? I'm trying to fill my house with things that are going to make me happy. But I think for you, your happiness is in being outside yourself, having really a spiritual experience, being of service to the world. It's all about how you are able to give of yourself to others, to someone else, or to a cause or a purpose, So then what does the Hermit really signify in the future position? If happiness is a side effect, and joy and abundance is a side effect, is loneliness a side effect? Right? Is this path up the center here, if we just take this central, vertical, middle pillar sort of life, right? That you are voluntarily diving into something that's going to put you in touch with other people that share the same plan, the same ideals, and this is a sort of divine plan, this is a resonance on the intellectual plane. Why are we still feeling the loneliness of the Hermit? Or is the Hermit really here to say that, that you're traveling the path much less traveled than the rest of us? So maybe it's not a lonely path, but in a sense it kind of is. But I think that it may be beginning as a lonely path. It may feel as if you're sort of sacrificing your happiness, your typical joys and pleasures of life. You're sacrificing all of these things, but really I feel like this is going to bring you everything. This is going to bring you this unexpected fortune. We think we're going off and we're going to be living this lonely, austere existence. We feel like we're going off into the wilderness and we're the hermit. That I'm sacrificing my personal happiness for this greater thing. But then when we look at the path of the serpent, it seems like you're getting it, It seems like what we're expecting it to be a lonely existence. I think again, it's sort of you're finding your people. But that wasn't your consideration. You weren't going into this thinking, I'm going to make a bunch of friends, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to be happy, this is going to be the best era of my life. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait. You didn't go into this thinking of your personal gain, right? I think you went into this thinking, I'm going to give everything I have to it. I'm devoted to this thing utterly. Well, it just so happens that your happiness is sort of an unexpected benefit, a bonus, And I think your sense of connection, your sense of community, the bond that you're going to experience with the people that you're going to be meeting, it's going to be, it's a cure for loneliness, if anything. I think that's also an unexpected benefit. Where the hermit, it's kind of like, I'm picturing this hermit who suddenly looks up and is just kind of smiling because suddenly they have a bunch of friends. Suddenly there's all these people around them, and they feel welcome, and they feel overjoyed, and they feel accepted, they feel loved. Okay? So what may begin as a lonely and solitary path, I think is bringing you the deepest sense of connection that we could ask for. And that brings us over here to the Two of Cups and our Star card. Now, of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Supports the channel, and I really appreciate that. The Two of Cups, then, is that feeling of being connected. It is the urge to merge, right? It is us really feeling loved and in love. We feel like we are love, And so I feel that by being willing to give everything that you have, being willing to sacrifice your personal happiness for the sake of this greater purpose, you're actually going to be achieving everything. Yeah. I feel like somewhere along the path here, you're going to meet somebody that you really want to stay with, It could be a group of people. It could be one particular person. And it may begin as a professional relationship, but I think it may blossom into a real deep personal bond. Now, it doesn't have to be sexual or romantic, but it could be. But a deep, deep bond. Okay? And again, I think it starts out kind of professional. You're going into this just being of service, offering yourself, to this higher good, this higher, something bigger than yourself, in this very professional way. And I think just as you're sort of accepting that this is a lonely commitment, this is a lonely path, and then I think that you're going to fall in love, with the work, with the people there, maybe one special person. And so we could be talking about a business kind of thing, a professional thing, a charity thing. We could be talking about even some kind of a school or educational thing, right? But it's something that you feel it's a cost. You feel like you're devoting yourself to this and you're sort of sacrificing your personal interest. But the fact that you're willing to do that, that's what's important. I don't think it's going to be asked of you. But you have to be willing to give everything you've got to this. And since you're being rewarded. You're being greatly rewarded with all of this love and pleasure and beauty and joy. And in the environment, we've got our Star card. And it's, I think in terms of your relationships, they're going to feel very serendipitous. It's going to feel strange, I guess, because we expected to begin this job or this work or whatever it is with suffering, sacrifice, with really kind of putting our personal interests on hold, right? But then I feel like it's going to be a very warm, loving environment for you. And at first, look, it's a stranger in a strange land. Is the hermit on a different planet? Talk about loneliness, right? Maybe you're starting school. Maybe this is a new job. Maybe this is that charity or that larger organization. Maybe you're volunteering somewhere. It's going to take you somewhere international. You're going to be a stranger in a strange land at first. But you're going to feel like you belong. And you're going to feel that warm acceptance, and you're going to fall in love with it, with the place, with the people, maybe with a very special person. Okay? Because you followed your greater destiny here. You followed your North Star that led you to this particular sacrifice. You know, you're jumping in, you're diving in, you're volunteering for this. I think it's paying you in very unexpected ways. Okay. And now the Star card is really sort of what you feel is being asked of you by the universe. You feel like you're receiving this divine light, you're receiving this mission, this energy is coming into you, and it's your job to just allow it to flow out into the world. And that, in a way, we are just a vessel. We're just a conduit for that divine light. That you have a mission, you have a purpose, you have a destiny in life, and you're fulfilling your mission. Okay? It kind of like, it doesn't matter what happens to me, I just have to be that clear channel, and I have to fulfill my mission. Right? And that's the Hanged Man. We're going with the flow of this, of fate. Right? But I feel like your world is not a cold, dark place. It's very warm. It's very inviting. And I think that you are experiencing tremendous joy in what you're doing. And the Star card, I think, is really, I mean, that's you following your destiny, following what you know to be your path. And it's going to bring you to very strange places. I think that's, like I said, kind of, international feeling, places you've never been, around people and cultures that you've never experienced before. You're going to fall in love with it. At first, it may feel rather lonely, and you may feel like a hermit in a strange place. You're going to fall in love with it. Okay. And there may be that very special person, too. The Hierophant, then, in the position of the obstacle. This is the idea of, this is kind of the, in some way, a blockage. In some way, this feels like it feels like a gatekeeper of sorts, right? It kind of feels that there's a ceiling that you're going to be breaking through. See, we want to get to the High Priestess, right? But first we have to sort of pay our dues to the Hierophant. And maybe this is kind of, if we're talking about an educational thing or a university, right? We kind of have to, we have to work hard, we have to suffer, we have to sacrifice until we reach a certain point that we can then, we can transcend those requirements. It's kind of like we become a master, and then we're free to receive all the energy. Right? This seems like a level that we can't pass yet until we pay our dues and we suffer and we sacrifice enough and we work hard. We get to a certain level, and then the rest of the world opens up to us. Okay, so it's kind of when you reach a certain level at university, new privileges open up to you. You know what I'm saying? And so the hermit may have to spend a good while, just doing the hard work, right? Of paying those dues, yeah, before we can transcend this Hierophant energy and get to the... Now, the High Priestess is really excellent because the High Priestess is showing us the way to the Empress. It's kind of like all the things that we've sacrificed at the beginning. Things that we kind of like, we're immersing ourselves into this, and it's going to be hard work. It's going to be grueling, right? Well, then at the end, that high priestess is showing us opening the door, and in that door are all those things that you had to sacrifice. Or all those things that you thought you would never achieve, or the experience of life that you never thought you would get, you know. And if the hanged man is sort of suffering and sort of putting yourself last, and giving up your personal interests for the benefit of the bigger purpose or the bigger picture or the other person or whatever. The high priestess is sort of promising you that you're going to get all of that stuff like back. You know what I mean? That it's going to be your turn to be taken care of. That it's going to be you being put for. I wonder if that mystery card is going to be the Empress. So I feel like you're engaging with something that feels as if it's costing you a lot. It's a big investment of time, energy, money. And it could be that the return on the investment feels a long way off. Okay. But I think it is coming. I think that this is going to be an experience that you really fall in love with. And then I think beyond that, I think everything that you thought you were sacrificing is going to be sort of given back to you, I think, tenfold, you know. So the mystery card now really could be the Empress. It could be a 10 of Cups or a 10 of Pentacles. It could be that we're getting our 9 of Cups back, right? So let's take a look. If you have a prediction, of course, put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. The Judgment, the rebirth, the reawakening, the baptism by fire. If this is then the baptism by water, right? This is kind of now we're passing the next phase of things. Okay? Because of your willingness to sacrifice everything you have for this purpose, this plan, this mission, this ideal, whatever it is. Because of your willingness to sacrifice everything, you're then gaining everything. Right? So this could really be, I mean, it could be anything. Maybe you're starting a kind of a fitness regimen or something, right? Or a new kind of, a new diet kind of thing, a new way of eating. Or you're starting a sport or a martial art. Or you're starting some new, you're learning some new skill, right? At first, it feels like we're sacrificing our time, our energy, our money to learn something new. You know, it feels like it's going to be just bleak, you know. It's not very promising at first. I think you're going to fall in love with it. And then I think that you're going to blow right through that Hierophant, right? You're going to break right through that ceiling, and you're going to achieve mastery of this. And then all of those things that you sacrifice, all the time and the energy and the money that you spent on it is going to be returned to you with interest, right? As you wake up to your new life, okay? As you achieve the sort of transcendent moment or that mastery of whatever this thing is. Yeah, it's very interesting reading. I feel like the Judgment card, that baptism by fire, that wake-up call, right, is heralding in a new era for you. No longer an era of sacrifice and suffering and giving up your personal interest, but now time to turn that around, and it's time to reap the rewards. It's time to accept the rewards and the return on that investment. Okay. I think this is we're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top, there's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn, Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.